secretaries and permanent secretaries at the front bench, representing the various ministries and answering the questions that matter to us. Join the conversation. This is the front bench.
Join the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for keeping it UBC TV. 0709602592 is our WhatsApp number where you can easily send in your questions and comments about the subject matter that we're going to be discussing tonight. I do have the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance together with Dr. Frederick Chitogo, who is the Principal of Uganda Institute of ICT. We are going to talk issues concerning technology. It is very important. PS, thank you so much for sparing time. It is very important. First things first, I do understand a lot is going on within the country. We are in that election period, campaigns are going on. But besides that, information and technology are key issues all time, 24 hours. Let's talk about policy. What is there for us as Ugandans when it comes to the policy, some of the things you're putting on board to ensure that Ugandans follow those when it comes to social and economic transformation?
Thank you very much, our host and our viewers this evening. Good evening once again. As we go into this season of elections, ICT is not something that is very new to us. It is something that has been living with us, and especially during COVID, that is when we appreciated the need for ICTs, the need for information communication technologies, that you can work from anywhere, anytime, and be able to still deliver on what government can do or any other business can run. As the government of Uganda, a number of policies have been put in place to support the ICT ecosystem, and these policies are anchored in the government programs. They are not new at all. The government of Uganda has the National Development Plan that is prioritizing ICTs. We have the Digital Uganda Vision 2040 that we have been following, I think, for the last 20 or so years. And we are almost getting there to realizing our Digital Uganda Vision 2040. As a Ministry of ICT, we have come up with we developed the Digital Transformation Roadmap that is also steering government and the country at large to be able to realize what our key priorities for digital transformation are. Also, the ruling party, NRM, has the manifesto that is also prioritizing digitization in many fronts. And in this, we are prioritizing things to do with connectivity, ensuring that we reach out to everybody, because you cannot do ICT when you don't have internet. You cannot do ICT if you do not have things like access to devices. So government has created an environment where this is possible and to be realized. We have put in place laws and regulations that are supporting digitization. For example, the laws to do with Electronic Transactions Act, which is enabling us, if you today we are doing things online, we are buying commodities online, we are also paying government employees online. All these are transactions that are going online that require that you have to have policies in place or regulations that govern that environment. People are transacting using mobile money. We have regulations in place that in the event that anything goes wrong, there is a way you can be able to trace back some of these fraudulent acts, including creating awareness of what people are supposed to do and what is supposed to guide their transactions online. And lastly, the government of Uganda has prioritized ICT in everything that we do. The current priorities of government that we have abbreviated or given an acronym of ATMs. Sometimes people, when you hear ATM, it is about money. So socio-economic development is about improving the well-being of Ugandans. and improving their way of lives, leveraging on generating income or revenue and improving their status in the economy. And for that, one of the priorities, among others, of course, we have industrialization, we have tourism, manufacturing, science and technology, including ICTs.
PS, before we go deeper into that, you did talk about the Uganda Vision 2040, and
Yes.
part of the targets that you have is to ensure that at least 95% of all engagements within government agencies should be through ICT. How far have you gone with this?
To date, we have developed a number of systems that are supporting government functions. In terms of percentage, we want to, the target is 95%, but I can say that to date about 50% of government services, both for the services that we deliver to the citizens and those that we operate internally as government, are done online. And the effort to ensure that we realize the 95% by 2040 is not far out of reach for us, given the intensity that we have given to ICT now. Some of the examples of systems of digitization efforts we have seen are that today citizens are able to get driving licenses by applying online, and then they go and get their licenses very fast. We see that people can apply for passports online. We see that people can do tax returns online for URA. Business registration is done online. You don't have to go to Uganda Registration Services Bureau to register. That is done online. The Parish Development Model project, today, when you see disbursement of funds, registering of the beneficiaries, all that is done using digital systems. Internally in government, we are paying salaries using systems. We are paying any payment that is done internally for government, even paying suppliers, is done online. Procurement is done online for any service provider to deal with government. We are rolling out the electronic procurement system. So far that is in 36 entities, but we are going to roll out to the whole of government to 400 entities by the end of next year.
All right.
And so on and so forth. There is a lot that we have done today in digitization, including documenting, taking our records management online. Some of the offices that you go to so far, we have 11 entities that have joined, that are using the electronic document record management system. So you're now entering people, we are going to start entering people's offices and stop finding the old stacks of files that we used to see long ago, and even get out of the hassle of trying to trace documents that get lost every other day within government offices. Okay.
PS, I will get back to you. You did talk about digitization of the entire system, but of course issues coming in, there are issues of system, networking, network problems. You will explain how you're working to see that that is corrected. Principal, Dr. Frederick Chitogo, thank you so much for being part of us. You are heading an institute. What have you done so far to equip Ugandans for the digital economy?
Thank you very much, our host and viewers once again. Our principle is that we want to provide skills that are, number one, marketable, inclusive, futuristic, and encompassing, and also hinged on emerging technologies to support digital transformation, as well as investment, entrepreneurship, and other areas. To date, what we have done is we have developed a skilling framework which comprises of all those elements that we have talked about. But we have skilled, I would say in the last 3 years, we have skilled over 60,000 stakeholders, and we are looking at both the formal and informal sector stakeholders. but looking at also the different categories, starting from the people, the SMEs, the juakalis, market vendors, fishmongers. We are looking at women, we are looking at educationists, but also government employees and persons who are disadvantaged, like those living in refugee camps, but also refugee settlements, as well as those persons living with disabilities. What has happened is that the skilling that we have done has seen the different stakeholders get into what we call the gig economy. That is a labor market driven economy that focuses on freelance, focuses on short, project-based, and also unconditional employment, where people create their jobs but also can be employed online. And we have seen stakeholders also turning their businesses into digital businesses, but also using digital marketing to market their different businesses and products. And this has created, I would say, over 50,000 jobs that we can talk about for the people who are freelancing and doing their own digital business. In addition to that, we have also developed infrastructure through partnerships where we skill and also improve the learning technologies. We have set up, with support from the government, we have set up the first augmented and virtual reality center that helps to not only teach how to understand concepts, but also helps to, we are focusing so much on the TVET industry, that's the technical and vocational. The traditional ways of teaching TVET are not focused on using ICTs, but we use the AVR, that's augmented and virtual reality, to be able to automate the teaching. For instance, let me give you an example of wiring a house. Teaching a person how to wire, electrical wiring of a house. Ordinarily, what you will do is take that person to the site and they begin wiring the house and making mistakes and blowing up certain areas. But now, we use these technologies to teach those people to simulate environments and make mistakes and show them that if you do this, this is what is happening. So by the time they go into the live environment, they already have those skills. And this has really improved the skilling and also the job creation. I would say that the graduates that we churn out now, if I look at the last 3 years, I would say that 71% of them have created their own jobs, and they are bringing revenue which is in the range of 1 million to 1.5 million Uganda shillings per month, using their own jobs they have created. Yeah.
Doctor, your focus seems to be so much into the central, here in Kampala as the major city. What have you done to the villages to ensure that they understand more about your concept?
Yeah, thank you very much, our host and viewers. What we have done, and we started this way back through the times of the COVID-19 pandemic, where we trained and enrolled 400 change agents who are based in 40 districts across the country. And we are working with the Uganda Communications Commission, local governments, and schools, secondary schools, especially those ones where labs have been set up. So those people were able to train at that time 6,500 citizens to use digital tools to be able to access services. That was one of the beginning areas, but now we have improved and are going into the different districts. I said we have trained in 120 districts in the last 1 year, 120 districts in the last 1 year, over 6,000, community people and they are utilizing ICTs. What we have seen is the transitioning from digital confidence has been raised from 39% to about 68% on the people understanding and being comfortable with digital tools. And also what we do is that we are also teaching teachers on how to use ICTs to teach others, but also to be our community, our ambassadors in those different communities. So we are working with different stakeholders on that. We are a digital transformation center under the International Telecommunications Union, one of the 5 of them in Africa, and we work with the International Telecommunications Union, and we do impact assessment on the trainings we are doing and the impact they have had on the country.
Okay, as I cue in the PS, lastly, Doctor, in a minute, you do teach cyber security, robotics, data science, AI. Where does this leave the wananchi, the jua kali? You did talk about the market vendors. Yes. Do you accommodate them in one way or another into your system?
Yeah, absolutely. We do accommodate them, and what we have done now, as I said, we are a digital transformation center. We are actually offering free courses as corporate social responsibility, and this can be accessed online. But when these juakalis, the wananchi and the others access these systems online, they don't necessarily have to be with powerful computer labs. Okay. They use labs like Amazon Web Services, labs from the cloud. And also they can access the augmented and virtual reality center via the cloud. You have your phone, you can be able to be trained using your phone, and you access those services online. And then you get a certification, but also we have had collaborations with institutions like Japanese International Corporations Agency, which is trying to link software engineers here and other gig players to companies in Japan, but all over the world, so they can do their work from here and provide services to companies all over the world. Okay. So we are taking care of those disadvantaged and the bigger community as well.
All right, PS, let me cue you in this time. Doctor was talking about digitalization, but also students starting up their own businesses. As a ministry, what are you doing to ensure that it is sustainable? Because connectivity, you did talk about connectivity, but also data. Data is also another issue that the youths are actually complaining about. PS.
First of all, as a Ministry of ICT, having an institution for skilling under the ministry, the Uganda Information and Communications Technology Institute, is one of those initiatives that the ministry has emphasized on to show how important digital skilling is, how important it is to tool our young people with the knowledge for digitization, not only in Kampala, like you were alluding to the principle here, but we have put up, set up structures and facilities to support all young people across the country. We have set up innovation hubs. There is a national innovation hub at Uganda Institute of Communications Technology here in Kampala, where we are supporting young people with free internet and free access to computers for those who don't have, but also subsidized spaces for those young people who have, who cannot afford office space in the competitive market, but we can come and give them office space at a subsidized fee. We have set up innovation hubs, an innovation hub in Kabale, at Kabale University, providing same services to the young people there, free internet, and also computers for those who don't have, but space for those who have a laptop but don't have an office to sit in. In the north, we have set up one at Muni University, and in the east, we have set up one in Soroti University. We have plans this year to set up another innovation hub in Busitema University and another in Gulu and later on Lira. So in terms of facilitating these young people with internet, we have, aside from the innovation hubs, government has so far rolled out over 4,300 kilometers over the national backbone infrastructure. That is the highway of the internet. And we have connected over 1,000, what we call 1,500 sites. This means we have connected local governments offices. We have connected internet to some hospitals, to some schools, to some judicial courts, because you see sometimes we are doing courts, court cases and rulings and judgment online. So these are sites that we have connected, but we are currently rolling out a project to extend the connectivity to many other sites. And why are we doing so? Because if we are talking about digitization, you have to reach all corners of the country to get people hooked online. In terms of the price of internet, the price of internet has significantly decreased. Yes, it is still a little high now, but compared to the last 20 years, we have seen the price going down significantly. Today, you find that the private sector, the telecom providers, all of the services we are using today have a number of packages, including free bundles. Some time back we had late night bundles, and you would find the young people online till morning. But these are, for example, today you can get 1 GB at about 5,000 shillings, or even less, depending on the bundles that you're using. Yeah. So as government, we are working together with the private sector to ensure that we take that price further down. But also, we are trying to ensure that we attract people or companies and investors in recruiting and employing our young people, leveraging on ICT. So we are offering incentives in terms of if a company is setting up to hire about 500 Ugandans, leveraging on ICT, then we give that company an incentive of bringing the cost of the cost of internet that we offer them at a lower fee. I think we are offering them internet at about $50. A company that promises to employ 500 people, 1,000 people going forward. So yeah, those are the efforts that we are doing, but we still continue. We know that given that the population of Uganda is largely young people, we have over 30 million Ugandans below the age of 30 years old, and the average age of Ugandans is 15.5 to 16 years old. So these young people cannot afford internet. So that is why we are putting all these initiatives, setting up innovation labs, hubs that are offering free internet. When we do last mile we call it last mile connectivity. When you do the highway of the backbone, branching off to ensure that the school has internet, the hospital has internet, we call that last mile connectivity. So if we roll out and connect more schools, we shall be providing a less costly internet to these schools for everybody to benefit as Ugandans. All
right, PS, we're going into a break in the next 5 minutes, but let me read some of the questions. Good evening, thanks for the program. My question is, how is the government planning to bring down high charges of internet from these telephone companies? I think you've answered this one. Please, when you send your message, please indicate your name and where you're sending from. Hello, thanks for the program, for hosting the PS and the principal. How can government address the issue of expensive data which is easily drained out? This is Joseph from Kabarole district. All right, I am asking PS, this is Twina Joseph, national coordinator. This is not clear. I'm asking PS, we have done whatever we can in supporting schools adopt and use ICT in education processes, specifically the curriculum implementation. We have approached the Ministry of ICT for a partnership for sustainability, but our innovations are all in vain. Maybe you will tackle that as well. However, some government institutions don't value our papers. I also did ICT, people asking for jobs. And maybe lastly, hello, truly Uganda has embraced ICT. My question is, does government regulate creation and utilization of ICT-based applications? And how does government make sure that no one is left behind in terms of use of ICT services? This is Samuel from Arua. PS, maybe you could answer that and then we go for the break.
Okay. Just to tackle a few in the interest of time,
yes.
I think the issue of the price of internet and the efforts we are doing towards reducing the cost of internet, I have spoken to. In terms of what government is doing to ensure that we are taking on ICT solutions that are developed by Ugandans, the government of Uganda has prioritized in its government priorities for the next financial year, including this financial year. We are prioritizing the uptake of locally developed solutions. If government is procuring an IT solution, priority is going to be given to locally developed products. But that doesn't mean that we're just going to take on anything. What I advise the young people out there, all the innovators out there, please maintain the quality of the products that you're developing. Please ensure that the quality you're giving us is comparable to the quality that would have got out there from the market. That way we shall build trust. We already have, because I think currently government is utilizing about I think up to 7, it could even be 10 locally developed solutions that have been developed by our own young people and innovators. But we are also, I know the private sector has a number of these innovations that have been developed. At the National ICT Hub today, I think we have about 52 innovators. And out of those innovations, 32 innovations have been taken up by the private sector and government as well. So government is very passionate about that, because we know our young people have ideas, and we are the best people who know our problems as a country, and will be able to come up with solutions that are cost effective but also create employment opportunities for our young people. To the gentleman from Kabarole, we are not leaving anybody behind. That is why we are setting up innovation hubs in all parts of the country. We are not yet set up in Kabarole, but the western part we have done. Kabale, Fort Poto will come next, and later on Hoima. So these areas we shall get into. At first, we want to ensure that every region, for starters, has an innovation hub.
Okay.
But we are also lastly doing we have a DigiTrack, a mobile computer lab that has traversed the entire country. And we are skilling we are doing basic skilling for communities, for the market vendors. A principal talked about the Juakali people, women, young people, and we are not leaving anybody behind. Even we have trainings and skillings for people with disabilities. So when these trucks come by in your communities, please take advantage, because it is free training, it is free skilling. To date, we have skilled over 8,000 Ugandans using that digital track. That is, takes, when it gets to a district, it takes 1 month, spends 1 month in that district skilling people, and we expect that number will double going forward if we get another track, because that is what we are trying to get here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the front bench continues. Allow me go for that short commercial break. When you do return, all your questions and comments will be answered. Don't go away.
This is the front bench.
With Momo, you have the power to become an investor and start earning some money daily on your phone. Dial *165*7*1# and invest for as little as 1K with Momo Yinvestor. And the best thing is, you can withdraw your money instantly anytime. That's Momo. That's the power to be more.
battle for the surface. I go deeper. At UBC News Tonight, we unpack the story behind the story. We don't chase for views, we pursue facts. The election, the economy, the promises made, and those kept. We ask, we check, we verify, because the truth should never be a mystery.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
These elections matter, and so does how you hear about them. That's why I'm here every night on UBC News Tonight to give you the whole picture and not just the headlines. We report with context, with care, and with commitment, because you deserve the truth. Calmly delivered, clearly explained.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda. Fellow countrymen and women, these are our ministers and permanent secretaries at the front bench, representing the various ministries and answering the questions that matter to us. Join the conversation. This is the front bench.
This is the front bench, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. We are having an insightful discussion. Dr. Principal, sorry, I have 2 doctors in the building, so I have to identify who. Principal, let's talk about national impact, inclusiveness, but also measurable transformation when it comes to your sector, the institute that you're manning, putting into consideration economic empowerment, inclusive development, government transformation, but also human capital competitiveness, and later sustainable growth.
Thank you very much, our host JETHRO and our listeners. Thank you for those areas that you've guided on. Let me start with, you talked about inclusiveness. What we have done is we have trained, I said, for the last 2 years, over 60,000 citizens in different categories. And in those categories, we are looking at having the different layers of citizens benefiting and also being able to create their jobs in those areas, such as we talked about the Juakalis, and we talked about market vendors. We talked about people in the different professions like the TVET professions, electricians and others, and agriculturalists and others. So these beneficiaries are using these technologies for 3 main reasons. Number one, for livelihoodness, as their own livelihoodness in their different categories. So we provide, for instance, the persons living with disabilities. Right now we are conducting a training at UICT of about 50 of them. We trained 30 trainers to train them. But now these people can use ICTs to be able to live a decent life themselves as persons living with disabilities. But they also use the same ICTs to be able to earn a living. And then another one is to be able to communicate to the different categories of stakeholders that they deal with. So we have empowered them, and that's inclusive in their area. That's one category. The other one is if we are looking at people who are skilling the teachers, they are able to use skills that we have given them to not only teach the students they teach, but also to use them to be able to improve their potential and capabilities and capacity. The skills they have learned from us, they are able to skill themselves in their different areas. Using ICT tools, even if you're a biology teacher, then you're able to use ICT tools to learn more biology, which you are teaching. That's on the side of inclusiveness. In terms of the other area,
sustainable growth.
Sustainable growth. So we are we are not only assisting or supporting the skilled personnel to learn ICTs for the sake of it, but we are providing them with entrepreneurial skills as well as innovation skills, such that they can innovate and have sustainable products. For instance, now at the National ICT Innovation Hub, we also skill people on how to use intellectual property and be able to register their products and be able to generate revenue from those products on a continuous basis. So that we ensure that they are not only doing it for once, but now they can sustainably, earn a living from that. Another area,
government transformation.
Government transformation. We have trained over 6,000 government employees. Not only those ones who are ICT professionals, but we have trained also those others in their business domains to, number one, improve the services they deliver for government by utilizing ICTs, but number two, using the data that they generate from the e-government systems that are being utilized. So we are giving them data analysis skills to be able to analyze the data and inform the decisions that they make. From the level of policymakers, but also up to the target other employees, and also to utilize the data that they have to be able to forecast and see how the outcomes of the services they deliver impact on on their customers. That's on
Principal, how is the real world experience like looking at what Ugandans are innovating currently?
Currently, there are two aspects to it. I would talk about innovations that support government in terms of service delivery and also other areas. For instance, we have had systems that have been developed, like the human management information system, health and human management information system, that helps citizens be able to understand the different intricacies of their health. So people are innovating in those areas. Another area is in terms of fintech. Solutions that can assist the public and other stakeholders to be able to embrace financial technologies and improve their access and provision of financial services, but also tourism. The tourism apps are also coming up very much, and we have a solution that was developed at the Innovation Hub, and others are building on top of those solutions to have a seamless tourist environment where a tourist doesn't need to go to the tourist park, but can enjoy the experience in the comfort of their homes and their phones. And these are real applicable services. But also we have the logistics areas, whereby innovations about linking businesses or truck drivers or transporters to businesses, and also linking them to, of course, clients. Today, there are very many systems for market management, whereby you can now go do your shopping online and then go and pick your stuff from a supermarket, or they deliver it. So those are areas that are upcoming.
Okay.
But now, the things that are coming up are really data related and artificial intelligence related, where we are evolving into that area. Data is to improve the policy making and decision making. Artificial intelligence, we are going to evolve into simplifying work. The repetitive tasks are done by artificial intelligence. So we are evolving and even creating jobs like machine learning experts, natural language processing. To date, you see a chatbot of say you go and interrogate the chatbot, and it you ask questions and give you answers. And now we are evolving into natural language processing, whereby it's going to translate into our local languages, such that we have inclusiveness. The people who don't understand English
are catered for.
That's a good one. Get public service.
PS, you did talk about the key priorities that you have in place. Let's talk about positioning Uganda as a BPO and ITO hub. And in that, I do understand you have a target of creating over 100 new jobs by 2030. How are you achieving that? We need to know. And also expanding digital infrastructure, and not forgetting developing digital skills and human capital.
Okay, thank you very much, Jethro. You pretty answered all the priorities that we have. But just to dive a little bit into the detail, first of all, ICT skilling is not only for the innovators, but is a required skill. IT is a required skill for also the teachers who are teaching these students. So in our priorities as a Ministry of ICT, digital skilling is one of those things that we have prioritized, working together with the Ministry of Education to ensure that we review the curriculum to incorporate ICT skilling right from the infant stage, right from primary schools. So what does this mean? As we change the curriculum, we also have to skill the teachers, and even take skilling up to the teacher training colleges, so that as the teachers graduate, we are not only educating the ICT teachers, but we are educating all the teachers. An English teacher, history teacher, science teacher, because at the end of the day they are going to create content and they are going to deliver their lessons using computers. So that is one of the things that we have prioritized. In government as well, we are skilling all government employees, to equip them with ICT skills, so that as we uptake the services or we employ them to deliver efficiency for government, they are IT savvy. We are promoting local developed solutions, but in doing so, we have set up, these facilities that I earlier on talked about, the innovation hubs. But we have not only set up these hubs, we have also created programs around supporting innovators. Their mentorship programs, free of charge. There are trainings and skillings that we are doing for the innovators to learn how to cost their products, to learn how to pitch them, because many times some of these innovations are not costed well. And when we take them on, they are like, have you ever seen a scenario of a builder or a carpenter? They will come with initial price X of 100,000. By the time they are done, it is times 10. So when we are procuring these systems or taking on innovation systems, we have to have defined costings that enable these innovators provide solutions that are sustainable, instead of getting on board and then they cannot pay their employees and so on and so forth. So these programs we have set up in terms of positioning Uganda as a destination for business process outsourcing. We have got recently, I think last year, we got the business process outsourcing policy approved by Cabinet. And this policy is aimed at ensuring that we create an environment that helps us attract companies abroad and even in Uganda to be able to recruit and employ our young people, leveraging on ICTs. But we also need to skill them. When BPO firms come, today I was talking to one that is taking our about 10 innovators to the UK space to be employed by the UK. By the way, the examples I'm talking about are live examples. We have taken people to the UK, to Japan, to, I think we are going to Vietnam at the end of this month. And these people are interested in our Ugandans. So for a number of reasons. We are young and very trainable. What I urge the young people out there to do is to be disciplined. When we go and promote Uganda for for opportunities, when we get the jobs, let us do them very well. We speak good English as a country.
Out there?
Even in here.
Okay.
Even in here, we are known for good, for speaking good English. When you travel and you speak English, it is audible, understood, and that is what people want. We also are advantaged in terms of the time zone where we belong. Lying at the equator, we are able to serve many countries in their different time zones. As the US goes to sleep, we are awake. When they are awake, we are we are sleeping, and then we are able to sustain their businesses 24/7. But also the other priority that cannot be left behind is that we have, together working with the private sector, we are ensuring that we expand connectivity. Because without connectivity, even if I skill and somebody cannot access the internet, it's a waste of time.
True.
So part of the requirements for service providers, the MTNs, the Airtels you're seeing, they have a requirement of ensuring that they cover 90% of the coverage that we require. You might tell me that some areas have not yet got internet, but that is a journey that we are walking to ensure that we have connectivity in all parts of this country. Currently, we are at about 50%, and we expect that by the end of next year, we shall be at 70% connectivity of the entire country.
PS, let's run through some of these questions. Rogers Damulida is saying, greetings and thanks for the show. My question is, as we are going digital, can't the government subsidize computers or laptops to students, especially at universities? It's a big challenge to them who cannot afford, yet it's a digital migration. Okay, that is Roger Damolida. I liked how PS has explained how the government has gone with ICT in terms of digitalization. This is Stanley from Bara City. Okay, good afternoon. This is Tunamasko Mathias from Kamwenge, a student. He's asking, he is passionate about ICT. He has been learning networking and computer skills, but he has limited access to resources and opportunities from the village. PS, maybe you could take those before.
Which village is he from?
This is, he's from Kamwenge. He's from Kamwenge, yes.
Okay, thank you, Damulira, for that question. on the price of devices.
Giving them, offering laptops to those who cannot afford them? That was his question.
Currently, we have a program under UCC called the Universal Service Access Fund. That Universal Service Access Fund is helping us bridge the digital divide by, first of all, trying to ensure that in areas that are not profitable, where the profit-making institutions, the likes of MTN and Airtel, cannot reach, UCC is setting up towers to be able to allow these companies to expand connectivity to those areas. So in trying to ensure that we have access of internet to these areas, we are trying to fill up those gaps. We have also provided schools with computers, set up computer labs in schools so that students in these schools, by the time they leave, at least they have had an opportunity to
even
use
in the villages, PS, big
yes.
challenge in the villages, time for UNEB, PLE, students can't access these machines.
It is still what the journey we have walked so far is, you might say, is a drop in the ocean because the skills and demand are too high. But we have ensured that at least in every district today, we have set up some, some computer labs. We are having efforts to ensure that we set up more, but also working together with development partners, private sector. We are trying to ensure that we do that. We are coming up with initiatives of setting up refurbishment centers. Refurbishment centers are going to be looking at using, renewing used computers. Banks or corporate entities get rid of computers at the age of 3 years and they get new ones. However, these computers can still be usable by schools, but at a lower cost as opposed to buying a new computer. So what do they do? When banks are getting rid of these computers, their worry is how safe is our data going to be? So we have to wipe them off of the data and then, give them to schools to use. So we are coming up with programs of setting up these refurbishment centers. But also, we are discussing, having in conversations with the Ministry of Finance to ensure that we reduce or waive taxes on some of the smartphones and laptops that should be affordable to the young people. Not the iPhone 17 or iPhone 16. Those ones, whoever can afford them can still pay the taxes. But for the low-range smartphones and laptops, especially that students are supposed to access, we are going into a conversation to reduce those taxes, as well as attract companies that are going to be assembling computers and manufacturing computers in the country. So if that is done, the cost of these devices will significantly go down and will be affordable by our young people. And this is not going to happen in the very far away future. We expect that by the next financial year, we shall have embarked on that process.
Okay, Principal, we are winding up. What are some of your plans? Where do you want to position Uganda when it comes to your work plan? Of course, putting into consideration whatever you have in place for Ugandans when it comes to innovation and ICT as an institution, as we wrap up.
Thank you very much. Our plan in terms of positioning, say in the next 5 years or so, we are looking at enhancing the skilling and innovation framework in relation to the emerging technologies, such as machine learning and artificial intelligence, and ensure that this goes into the grassroots, into government, into the communities, and enable the communities and the different stakeholders utilize those technologies to make entrepreneurship projects and also innovations, but also earn a living and create their own jobs. That is number one. You will note that today we have, the PS has talked about the e-government services that we have, and the services that are almost 50% of the services are online. But what does that mean? That there's a lot of data that is being collected that is not being utilized properly. So we are skilling people in data science, data engineering, and also being able to use the data for purposes of informing small and medium enterprises about how they are doing on business, giving them access to markets, the value chains, so that all this data that is out there is utilized. And you know, now the Minister of ICT through NITAYO has set up a UG hub whereby the services can go on top, and we are skilling people to be able to access that data given permission, and they can utilize that data to serve the different communities, right from the businesses, for instance, agriculture, health, and other people who are in that area. They need a lot of data to be able to understand, first of all, the whole value chain of a different industry. For instance, starting with what are the best seasons to undertake agriculture, where are the markets, what are the type of ingredients they need for agriculture based on actual data. So they just hook out the data and then do analytics and then provide it to the different, stakeholders to utilize for purposes of their, instead of only having academic research, we are using that data to do what? To train people to utilize that data to actually get value out of the data in that. And then for government purposes, when you look at the planning process and reporting and also other areas in government, we are going to strengthen those areas by utilizing data analytics to be able to inform. For instance, we provide services to the citizen and other players, but what are the outcomes of those services? How fast are those services? How satisfied are those clients? So we are going to train, people to utilize that data to be able to walk through the value chain and understand and be able to give data-driven insights and decision-making.
Thank you so much, Principal. PS, we are winding up. As we wrap up in 1 or 2 minutes, your parting shots, affordable data, connectivity, the digital divide between rural and urban communities. Those are some of the major issues that are really affecting Ugandans. I don't know how fast you're going to work on this as a ministry, as government, to ensure that Ugandans appreciate more your works. As we wrap up, PS.
As I wrap up, the government of Uganda has moved several strides towards digital transformation to date. And as we move into the next years, our National Development Plan 4 that we just started implementing this financial year has emphasized achieving and realizing all the gaps that we have talked about. Closing the digital divide by ensuring that we expand connectivity to reach 90% of the country by the time we are done with NDP4. We are also prioritizing digital skilling in many fronts, both for the citizens of this country as well as the employees of the country. Our goal is to also ensure that we get as much infrastructure to support us in processing our data, like the principal has said, setting up more data centers, setting up more business process outsourcing parks for us to be able to create environments where our young people can be employed, to create employment opportunities for these people. And at the end of the day, the overall outcome is to ensure that we see our Ugandans grow in their socio-economic status. The programs like the parish development model are driven towards that, moving people from a subsistence economy to a commercialized economy. On the ICT front, we are also leveraging on ICT to create employment opportunities to grow, the young people in that area. But also ICT is one of those key areas that will improve the GDP of any economy, if invested in, and those are the plans that we have as a government of Uganda. Parting shots to the young people. The ICT agenda is actually aimed and meant to support you, the young people. You should not let us down as a country. Work hard, get all these free skilling initiatives that we have talked about. Make sure that you take advantage of them. And definitely, opportunity meets the prepared. So if you're prepared with the opportunity, with the free initiatives that we have and the digital skilling, then when we bring on board the employers of business process outsourcing, you will be the first people on call.
Okay.
There is a website we have on the, we have a database on the Ministry of ICT website, ict.go.ug, that we are using to register BPO firms and also individuals in terms of what are your skill sets. So please take advantage of that register so that when the opportunities come, you're part of our database where we identify these young people. Thank you. JETHRO,
thank you so much.
Us this evening.
Thank you so much, PS, Dr. Mina Zawede, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. Thank you so much, Dr. Frederick Chitogo, the Principal, Uganda Institute of ICT. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't really add anything when it comes to issues of IT, technology, because the masters have said it all. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Those who have sent in your messages and comments, I mean, we can't read each and every because of the time that we had, but maybe next Monday, it will be your turn. When you have luck, next Monday, probably when we do engage other leaders from the government, you will be sorted at that time. I am JETHRO KASAIGI. Thank you so much for watching The Front Bench. It's a good night.
Oh, Uganda.